Welcome. It's going to be a great day.
Today we are talking about how to design your eyes to show emotion. You can render the eyes in any style you like, such as the flat design style shown on the right eye or the illustration style shown on the left eye. I've chosen the flat style for this demonstration, so don't feel I'm blocking you into that. The following things influence the eye's expression: the location and shape of the eyebrows, the position of the pupils, the position of the eyelids. The size of the pupil in anime, manga, and cartoon art can be adjusted to create a more dramatic expression, which is a big difference between sketching realistic eye expressions. Simple tips. Let's start with looking at the power of eyebrows. I'm only utilizing a simple graphic head in these cases. Using this simple face and just moving the eyebrows around, you will find that doing that changes the expression. Sometimes it doesn't take much. There's a time to be subtle and a time to exaggerate. Expressions are your means to help communicate what the character is thinking or feeling. They are tricky. The expression may not mean what you wanted to tell outside of the story. Also, a smile usually means happy. Yet the story context may change that meaning and any visuals that you add. The face by itself leaves interpretation to chance. The viewer's reaction to what the emotion conveys is limited without a body and context from the story, and that limits appropriate communication. The context is essential in determining how the expression is perceived, not just the drawing. Realistic. We can draw 6 core emotions: happiness, surprise, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. For each emotion, there are many variations and degrees of intensity. We will look at how the eyes contribute to expressing those emotions. I'm using the real and colored pencils in this section. Happiness is conveyed through the eyes in several ways. Arched eyebrows accompanied by a smile indicate you are happy. When people are joyful, the eyes arc upward. Another approach to determining happiness through the eyes is to look at the size of the pupils, which is an instinctive reflex. Large pupils communicate to others that you enjoy what you see. Studies reveal that your pupil size expands when you look at something or someone you care about. I also want to point out the eyes are not symmetrical. The face is not symmetrical. Don't take my word for it. Look at your face in the mirror. Look at other people's faces. Surprise. This facial expression remains the same whether the shock is favorable or bad. Surprise faces may only last a second or two. Eye widening is associated with expressions that convey emotions like awe, interest, and anticipation. One of the indications of sorrow is the inward brow raise, which not many individuals can do on demand. People's eyes fall downward when sad. Narrow eyes combined with tight lips indicate anger. Someone can tell you're upset. It makes no difference if you're also grinning. You can achieve the same effect on the viewer with your art. When a person is afraid, it is usually indicated by wide open eyes and an O-shaped mouth. When a person is scared or thrilled, their pupils dilate due to the body's natural adrenal response. Eye narrowing is also associated with emotions like hate, disgust, suspicion, aggressiveness, and contempt. Exasperation is a simple feeling to convey with eyes. You simply roll those eyes toward the sky. Suspicion. Another feeling you can portray with your eyes is suspicion. A sideways glance from the corner of the eyes is usually accompanied by a brow arch. It conveys genuine distrust at times and doubts at other times. Manga and anime. Now let's look at anime and manga eyes. Manga is for print and anime is for cartoons. These two terms are not interchangeable. And in this section, I'm mainly using the Magnolia and G Pen. You can download some eyes from Clip Studio Assets to help you get started. Some of the examples I'm going to give you are not exclusive to anime and manga. A lack of detail to the eyes suggests the character is in a numb, weak, spiritually, or mentally broken or brainwashed state. That's a lot. Half-closed eyes can mean varying ranges of mental or physical exhaustion. Blank eyes, or nearly empty with barely visible pupils, show the character is shocked or afraid, or are stunned physically or emotionally. These blank white eyes also have jaggedy drawn borders. Blank eyes with flushed cheeks imply shame, whereas blank eyes with shadowy lines across the face indicate dread. When a character's pupils shrink while the rest of the eye stays the same size or grows even in contrast, that usually indicates extreme terror, shock, pain, or insanity. In manga, we would need a panel before this to show the pupil at a regular size first to have a complete sequence and understand the shrinkage. Tiny dot eyes show a character's fear. These characters can also feel overwhelmed or confused. Sadness will make the upper eyelids droop. The eyes may appear blank. Sadness can also be expressed with trembling eyes. We'll see that later. A character with hard-edged, narrowed eyes could be either evil, morally ambiguous, or perhaps just have a jaded outlook on the world. If the eyes are narrowed simultaneously with furrowed eyebrows and arched downward, it's anger or extreme focus. And here are a couple of stylized representations of anger. Dull eyes show a character's disappointment or unhappiness toward another character. Sometimes they signify a dead character. Dull eyes lack pupils and highlights. Now let me show you how you can create gradients for the eyes. Let's select the iris using the Auto Select tool and choosing to refer to all layers. Whoops! I have to hold down the Shift key to select both eyes. Now select the Gradient tool, select Night Sky Gradient, drag from top to bottom of the iris to fill with the gradient. Now let's do the same on a 3/4 view. In this case, we'll do one iris at a time because different drag angles will be used to match the iris. Fear, being afraid, also very awake, surprised, confused, and mildly disturbed by something are how we represent the eyes with this jagged kind of multiple stroke. I used the fast hairbrush to draw the eyes in this case. In addition to wide eye fear, you can add a tremble to the eyes. This can also be used for extreme sadness before someone starts crying. Before they start crying. Fatigue is shown with dark, heavy eyelids. Eye symbols. I downloaded some symbols from the Clip Studios assets for this section. Love or infatuation is shown when a character encounters someone they want to be their boo, literally creating hearts in the place of their eyes. Instead of drawing a heart, I downloaded a heart symbol from the Clip Studio assets for this demonstration. All of the assets I've downloaded appear in my download folder automatically. Okay, now I drag the heart to the canvas. Whoa, that is way too big. I'm using the shortcut keys, Control and T, to select the heart and make it smaller. Dragging the handles is not going to work. How about I set the scale numerically? Now it's off screen. I have to find it. That's work. I don't want to do that. The best and most efficient way to do this is to adjust the position by selecting Canvas, which will center it on the canvas. Once the size is set, I can add highlights to the heart and shadows if I choose. You can add as much rendering as you want to this image asset. A greedy character's eyes turn into dollar signs. I'll drag that symbol from my download folder onto the canvas. I have to edit it. It's not quite what I want. So again, using the Control and T key, transforming it to a smaller size. Use the Auto Select tool, refer to the editing layer only. Make sure Apply to Connected Pixels only is deselected. Select the outer area and delete it. Select the dollar sign and fill it with the green color. Now it's ready to be duplicated and sized to fit the eye areas. A character hit by something genuinely extraordinary will have eyes literally swirl with a brilliant star twinkling with excitement for a brief moment. And eyes with sparkles and white dots are cute too. I achieved this effect from the twinkle brush I downloaded. You simply drag it into your brush materials and you can start drawing with it. I made the dots by selecting the ellipse tool, which is set to automatically fill itself. Fill itself. I'm full of myself. The character's eyes sparkle with giant yellow four-pronged stars, indicating they are amazed or in awe. I'm using the same twinkle brush I used earlier. At this size, the brush creates a series of twinkles. However, I only want one. So I have to increase the brush size to get that. If I make a stroke, I'll get a few twinkles. So I won't do that. Instead, I'll apply pressure with my stylus in one spot to get one twinkle. To convey grief or depression, the eyes are replaced by vertical lines in blue or purple colors. These eyes represent a variety of emotions, such as nervousness, embarrassment, or excitement. Spiral symbols in a character's eyes can indicate that they are dizzy, sick, or perhaps unconscious. It can also be used to depict a character who is in trance. It can also refer to being overwhelmed with information and unable to keep up. Also can show dread, disease, and befuddlement. And it's used to express hopelessness. This expression also has a visual feeling of being dazed. You can get a lot of mileage out of using spirals. And the man responsible for the industry's characteristic anime style is none other than Osamu Tezuka, which is the first time I'm saying that name, and I may be mispronouncing it. He's dubbed the godfather of anime and manga by many. His inspiration drew from large-eyed American cartoon icons, such as Betty Boop, Disney's Bambi, and Donald Duck, and many more. And now American cartoons are influenced by anime, so we've come full circle. Okay, this leads us nicely into our final section on drawing eyes with emotion, the cartoon. Cartoon. In cartoons, anime, and manga, the size of the pupil can be adjusted to create a more dramatic expression, which is a big contrast to drawing realistic eye expressions. I borrowed some other artist styles to get variety because drawing cartoons is open to any kind of style. When you observe someone's eyes narrow when you speak to them, it's usually a negative reaction, indicating that they consider what you're saying insulting. The narrower the eyes are while showing disdain, the more uncomfortable the reader will find what is being conveyed. The brow line is lowered and tensed. The nose is wrinkled. The upper lip is raised. and this is all to show disgust and distaste. When angry, the eyes have a severe look in them. The brow line is drawn together and lowered. Eye narrowing also happens with emotions like hate, suspicion, aggressiveness, and contempt. With fear, the brow line is drawn together and raised. The upper eyelids are up, the lower eyelids are tense and lifted. Eye widening is associated with expressions that convey emotions like awe, surprise, and fear. With surprise, the brow line is raised and curved. The eyes are widening, the mouth gaps with no tension. It's the mouth gaps or the mouth gapes. With happiness, crow's feet may be seen outside the eyes. The eye muscles are active. The cheeks are puffed up. The teeth are usually visible. With sadness, the eyelids droop, the eyes appear blank, the jaw comes up, and the corners of the lips go down. As you can see, there are many ways to express emotion with eyes, and varying degrees of intensity and exaggeration. I hope this has been helpful. Please leave any questions and comments below. Let me know how this has helped you and if you would like to see more on the subject.
Well, that's all for today. If you've learned something today, this has value to you, please like, share, and comment. I'd like to hear from you. And subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And remember, just create.